Good morning, dear students. Today, I wanted to tell you about the five kingdom classification. Let's learn about the five kingdom classification. Five kingdom classification is nothing but the all the living beings are divided into five kingdoms by a scientist named as R.H. Whittaker. R.H. Whittaker. This R.H. Whittaker, the scientist R.H. Whittaker, is classified the total living beings into five kingdoms. That's why it's called as a five kingdom classification. According to this, all the living beings on the earth are divided into five kingdoms. Those five kingdoms are: the first and foremost kingdom is Monera. Monera. The Monera is generally unicellular organisms. These are unicellular organisms, and also they are solitary beings. They are solitary beings, and they are prokaryotes. Especially they are prokaryotic animals. In fact, you know that the prokaryotic and eukaryotic. In fact, the cells which doesn't have a specific nucleolemma or nuclear membrane in its nucleus is generally treated as prokaryotic cells. Like that, if any prokaryotic cells are there for an animal, then that is called as a prokaryotic animals. And in case of the animal contains a specific nucleolemma in its nucleus of its cell, then they are called as eukaryotic animals. Like that, the animals are divided into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In this case, the prokaryotic animals, all the prokaryotic animals are classified into a kingdom that is called as Monera. This Monera contains this important character. And in fact, the example for this Monera is Archaebacteria. This Archaebacteria is generally a type of bacteria, and it is the bacteria, and this bacteria belongs to the kingdom Monera. That's about the Monera and the kingdom. And if you see the second kingdom, in fact, the Whittaker classified all the animals into five kingdoms, and all the first of all, I wanted to explain first. I will tell you the total five kingdoms. So those are: the first one is Monera, already we have dealt with, and the second one is Protista, Protista, and third one is fungi, fungi, and fourth one is Plantae, Plantae, and fifth one is Animalia, Animalia. Like this, according to the R.H. Whittaker, all the animals are classified into these five kingdoms. In these, the first one is Monera, second one is Protista, third one is fungi, and fourth one is Plantae, and fifth one is Animalia. In this, we already discussed about this Monera. The Monera contains unicellular organisms, and all are prokaryotic in nature. They doesn't have a nucleolemma, a specific nucleolemma in its nucleus, around its nucleus. That's why they are called as prokaryotic animals. All the prokaryotic animals are belongs to this Monera kingdom. Then the second one is Protista. Protista, generally these Protista also unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, of course, they are also unicellular organisms, and also like that of the Monera, these are also solitary beings, and all these are protozoans. In fact, we know about the protozoa, and all these protozoa animals are belongs to the this Protista. Then if you see that, what is the difference between the Monera and Protista? The Protista especially, of course, they are unicellular like that of the Monera, but all the Protista animals are eukaryotic animals. That is the main difference between these two. All these things are eukaryotic animals. All the prokaryotic animals are unicellular prokaryotic animals are belongs to the Monera kingdom, and whereas in the case of all the unicellular organisms, and contains the eukaryotic in nature or belongs to the protista. That is about the second kingdom. Of course, if you see the examples for the protista is of course all the protozoans are belongs to this kingdom. For example, the amoeba, euglena, paramecium, all these unicellular eukaryotic animals are belongs to this protista. That's about the second kingdom, that is protista. And if you see the third one is fungi. Fungi, you know that the fungi are generally we cannot treat them as plants or animals, but they are a special beings. So the Whittaker classified those fungal forms into a special kingdom that is called as fungi. And if you see the classification and the characters of fungi, they are haploid in nature. Haploid. They are haploid in nature, of course, and also they are dikaryotic. It means generally they contains two nuclei. Because of that, those are called as dikaryotic animals, dikaryotic living beings. Dikaryotic or binucleated. They are also called as binucleated. Means two nucleus are present in this organisms. And also especially the special thing is multicellular organisms. They are multicellular. In fact, you know that the first two, the Monida and Protista, are unicellular, but these fungi are multicellular beings, and they are heterotrophic, and they doesn't have any cilia, and like that, the fungi is a special group. This is about the third group, that is fungi. Then the fourth one is plantae. All the plants are belongs to this five kingdom. Plants. Then what is the difference between the plants and animals? Let's see that what is the main character of plants. Generally, the plants have a pigment that is called as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the main pigment which is there only in the plants. Because of this chlorophyll, they perform a special function that is called as photosynthesis. That is the main function of the plants. The things are the living beings which perform the photosynthesis are generally treated as plants. Of course, some plants doesn't have this feature, of course, but all the green plants have the capacity to have a special function that is called as photosynthesis. With this help of this photosynthesis, these plants prepare the food material for all the living beings, and for all the living beings on the earth are dependent on the plants for their food material, and all these plants are prepared this food material, means the glucose, with the help of the photosynthesis. Of course, we know that the photosynthesis is nothing but we can denote it as an equation, that is 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2. It is the equation of photosynthesis. Of course, the plants absorb the carbon dioxide from the air, water from the earth, and synthesize the glucose molecule. C6H12O6 means glucose. This glucose molecule, with the presence of the sunlight and also the pigment, the green pigment, that is the chlorophyll, and with this help of this chlorophyll and sunlight, they can prepare this glucose, means the C6H12O6. And also another thing is also evolved in this reaction, that is called as oxygen. The 6O2 will be also released in this function. That's about the speciality of this photosynthesis, and these photosynthesis are only performed by these plants. All these plants are belongs to a kingdom that is plantae. Okay, that's about the plants. Then the last one, the fifth kingdom is Animalia. Animalia is nothing but all the animals on the earth are belongs to the kingdom that is Animalia. Of course, the Animalia animals are all multicellular organisms. and they are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means they depend on the other organisms for their food material. Because of that, they are called as heterotrophs, and they doesn't have the cell wall. In fact, the plant cell and animal cell have a difference. That is, the plant cell contains a special structure that is called as a cell wall, which is prepared with the cellulose. This cell wall is only present in the plants, but the cell wall is absent in the animal cell. Cell wall is absent. Cell wall will not be present in animal cell, so that the animal cell doesn't have any cell wall, and also they doesn't have the photosynthetic pigment, that is the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is absent. Chlorophyll is absent in this animalia. Because of that, they cannot perform the photosynthesis, as like plants have a capacity to perform a photosynthesis activity, but these animals doesn't have that function, so that they cannot prepare the food material on its own. So they will depend on the other animals or other plants for the purpose of gaining the food material, so that they are called as heterotrophs. Like this, according to the Whittaker, all the living beings on the earth are classified into 5 kingdoms. Those 5 kingdoms are: the first one is Monera, second one is Protista, third one is fungi, fourth one is plantae, fifth one is animalia. Like this, the scientist Whittaker is classified all the living beings as these 5 kingdoms. Because of that, it is called as a 5 kingdom classification. 5 kingdom classification. That's about today's topic. And if you have any doubts, please ask me by sending me some comments in this video. Okay, thank you very much. God bless you.